it goes. Oh, we're having some fun over here. I screwed it up. I totally screwed everything up. All right, so I'm just gonna open this up with live is live, and don't do a whole bunch of new things all at once. Do as I say, not as I do. I can handle it when it goes wrong. But I apologize. I totally tried like 5 different new things all at the same time, which I knew it was going to go wrong. One of the things that I was trying, hello everyone, I see Sammy in the house, construction croonies. I see Sandy, environmental. I see Randall. I hope I'm saying your name right. Yes, I've never seen that spelling. I love it. Michael in the house. Tell me where you are right now and what the weather is doing. Because if you're anywhere in the US other than like California, then I feel like you have lots and lots of snow. Carter, okay, nice to meet you. We've seen you before, right? All right, so we are live on both vertical and horizontal using the new Ecamm beta. Now, one of the things that I tried to do extra today was go to Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram, and literally those of you on the normal YouTube channel were like, we're waiting for you. And I'm like, we're live. What are you talking about? And I went and looked, and one by one, each of the other ones failed. And then YouTube was just left all by itself, lonely and waiting. So my multi-streaming goal for today failed miserably, but that's okay. I did it like in 2 seconds right before all of this. So whatevs. Alberta is finally warming up. Let's see. Oh, it didn't work. Shoot. Okay. Now, this is a beta software that I am using today. It is giving me the ability to go live to vertical mode in YouTube and also horizontal. So if you're seeing me on vertical, come say hi. You might be new to my world. And if you are, type new in the comments. I would love to get to know you. I just love your background. Do you like the addition of like the light and everything back here? I actually usually have my monitor on, but I needed the laptop that connects to. Vertical looks great. Whoop, whoop. Hey, how are you? It's good to see you here. How is I'm going to screw this up. Michael, right? Right? Do I have that right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I know your face, and I know when I see you in the Ecamm group. I apologize. So old, I know. You're not old. You're OG. How about that? Vertical on my iPhone looks great, fantastic. Now, this is not an approved Paul Dixon layout. I just want to call it out because he's going to see this later if he's not here live. And Matt, I'm so sorry. I knew it was an M. I'm going to get that right next time. I apologize. You're so awesome in the community, so I appreciate you being here too. Anyway, so I'm using the Ecamm beta. It's allowing us to go live like in 2 different modes. There might be some bugs that happen one way or another. Totally fine, because that's what we do around here is we push the limits. But I do have some stuff I want to talk about, but right now, I want to hear from you. Where are you with live streaming? Are you doing it regularly? Is it something that you know you should be doing, but haven't started? And when I talk about live, I'm talking about like Zoom, like YouTube Live, all of the things. And definitely, if you have questions, put a Q in front of your question. Wait, hold on. Hold, please. Hold, please. Ah, it didn't work. Come on. It didn't. Let's see if this one does it. Why did my stuff break? Oh, because I'm in a new profile. Dork. Okay. I have to like totally reset everything. Zoom only. Okay, Blue Orchard Quilting. Zoom only. Interesting. I've been on a break, back to daily soon enough. Fantastic. Weekly virtual live stream game show. Awesome. So those of you who are really looking to grow your business and community through content and through video in general, like say me in the comments. If you're just trying to grow a community through like a hobby, like totally, you're welcome here. But I want to hear from you to say me if you are intentionally using video this year to try and grow your audience so that you can, generate leads so that you can grow your business and impact and sell your product or service. Me. Okay. Melanie stepped away for a while, but have gone live in the past 2 weeks. Good job. Twice in the past 2 weeks. I love it. You shouldn't have to do that, Randall. You shouldn't have to do that, but we can talk about that later for sure. All right. Oh, cool. That sounds so cool, Carter. Okay. Me. Fantastic. You guys are going to keep an eye on my dog, right? This is Abby the Chihuahua, if you're new to me. She recently went, I am just getting spam calls left and right today. She recently had to go to the ER, but she is doing much, much better, but I thought I'd throw her up here for your guys' sake. We'll come back to that, but let's get into, that was the IB Cam, absolutely. Let's get into this concept today. Now, really where we are in 2026 when it comes to business growth and marketing and content is there is a real trust recession. We've been talking about that in kind of the business space for almost a year, but definitely the last 6 months. It's been heavy. Like the things that used to work just aren't anymore. And it's harder to get people to respond to you on your email list. Give me a yes in the comments if you're feeling that in the last several months, like you're sending emails out and people aren't responding quite as much as they used to, or social content is feeling a little bit harder to get engagement, to get people to respond to you, to engage, to take the next step with you. And I want to just relieve a little bit of pressure. First of all, everybody's feeling it. Everybody's dealing with it. Did that rhyme? And so you're not alone. And what I have been looking at in my own business, because yes, I used to get lots and lots of engagement from my emails, and people would tell me, I love the way you write your emails. It's so human. It's so it's so conversational. And I've been continuing to write them the same way. And yet we're seeing a decrease in reactions, right? So you're not alone when it comes to the things that used to work. And yeah, so Carter says, as an email recipient, I'm definitely less likely to pay attention in that mode because there's so many emails you're getting. There's so many pieces of content on social. There's so much noise now. Now, I've been doing live streaming for 20 years. I've been doing video and live for like 20 years. I just hit my 20th anniversary late last year before the holidays. And I have seen live go up and down of interest over the years. And I can identify when these moments are in front of us. And I'm imploring you to introduce live or go back to live or go heavier on live this year in order to overcome the trust recession that is happening, especially with AI going crazy. Like people just, I got bamboozled by it. Lots of people are just like, oh, but is this AI, right? And so there's a lot of skepticism in the space right now. And the best tool you have for overcoming that skepticism is conversation, is interaction. And when I'm talking about live streaming, I am talking about YouTube Live, Instagram Live, LinkedIn Live, even Zoom, right? Like Zoom is actually my more favorite version of live streaming because it's a real two-way interaction. So whether you're using, we'll talk about ways that you can use Zoom or private spaces like that. It is your best tool this year to generate trust, just as we're talking about here. This is an amazing thing that you have that helps you stand out, because when it comes to overcoming the trust recession, what we're trying to do is create connection. And connection comes from conversation. It comes from authenticity. It comes from humanity, from being human. And when you try so hard to be perfect, to put your best foot forward, like visually speaking, our cameras can look good, our lighting should look good. We should be putting our visual best self forward. And when it comes to your personality, when it comes to your humanness, I'm just using that word now, humanness. I don't know if anybody ever used that before, but I like it. So like I say your humanness is your superpower, because it truly, truly is. And when you can connect with people, they want to actually pay attention to your content, right? And so when you do put an email out, hey, they're more likely to open it. When you do put a YouTube video out the door, hey, they're more likely to watch it over somebody else who's just another name in a list, right? So this is your powerhouse place to be this year. And one of the things that we're doing is really going high touch. Like Callie and I, as we strategize around business stuff in our own business, I'm like, I want to be high touch this year. I want to really connect with people in a deeper way. And that means going live more often. That means building community through conversation, through, like, for instance, right when Carter, who now I know is a preacher, awesome. When Carter came in, he identified, hey, I'm Carter. And so now I'm going to remember that, right? Or I'm going to do my best to remember it. I got Matt's name wrong earlier. And so we fail, right? We can fail and we can try and we can build those connections and relationships just by remembering simple things about your community members, right? Embracing that, learning something about them, things like that. So when it comes to even on-demand content, like, YouTube content or things like that, I'm looking at this year, how do I put myself in a high-touch environment when it's not live even? And one of the things that we did recently, and I'm going to ask Callie to drop the link to this, is that we put out a free video starter series. It's 3 videos designed to make video simple, to get you down the path of doing video, whatever kind of video we're talking about, but really geared towards action. And that's what I mean when I think high touch in an on-demand format is, okay, this series was designed with, here's the goal, right? And we're going to do this work together. I'm not just going to shout things at you, and I'm not just going to tell you a whole bunch of stuff that's going to fill your brain, that's then going to, have you thinking and feeling heavier later because now you have all of this stuff to do. I don't want to fill your head with more. I want you in action mode, which is my favorite thing about my coaching program, about being live with people, is I love to get people taking imperfect action. And so for instance, in this video starter series, what we did was, okay, we're going to do this work together. You're going to pause the video when I tell you to pause the video. You're going to take the action that I'm asking you to take. And by the end of the 30 minutes, you are going to be ready and understand video and ready to rock and roll. You've got a video done. We're going, right? Let's freaking go. Let's not learn for an hour, or let's not learn for a year and take all this time to just fill our brains and not do anything. So I think that that's a really important part of how I'm looking at this trust recession, AI influx, and really connecting on a deeper level. And so I think that this is one of the things that I want to really encourage you to do this year is how can you show up in a way that sets you apart from everybody else in your industry. So let's talk about counterfeit humanity. I haven't heard that term. I kind of dig that. That's super interesting. Marco, Yellow? I actually don't know. But tell me, I'll learn. I connect. I have hardcore followers, but I don't have the reach I used to. And I don't think it's about reach anymore. I know it's not about reach anymore. The way that you are going to win in content and content grow or business growth is by not trying to get all of the views, but by connecting deeper with the viewers that you have and making an impact in their life and really seeing them change. And when you do that, you are going to make such a bigger difference, and then scale starts to happen. So let's reshift the brain, right? And I know, Sandy, I think that's you. You have a really connected community, and we want to lean into that with every single new viewer that comes your way. So let's talk about the strategy. And I know we have some questions. If you do have questions as we're going through this, type Q in front of the question, and then I'm going to jump to questions here in a bit. But I want to kind of touch on the strategy overall when you talk about content and how live actually fits in that. And we're going to talk about organic, and we're going to talk about private streams where you can take the connection even deeper with the people on your email list or by invite. Okay, so number one is we want to look at having a multi-format strategy. This has been important for a while, especially on a platform like YouTube, but all platforms at this point require a multi-format strategy if you want growth. So what I mean by that is taking advantage of the different types of formats, short form content, long form content, live, and using them strategically together. So when it comes to content strategy, your short form content isn't necessarily built to drive call to actions or drive direct results. Your short form content is going to be the widest possible reach, the largest number of people that you can access. And that means that we're kind of spewing out there, right, with our short form content and hoping to connect with people who have probably never seen us before. They're in scroll mode. So you got to keep that in mind. When they're in scroll mode, we've got to keep it really simple. We've got to keep it really oriented around short form results or short form information, right? And so then you have your long form content. When I say long form content, I'm talking 3 minutes or over because short form content is up to 3 minutes. And long form content is like your typical YouTube video that you would publish, where we can look at reaching people with what they're searching for already on the YouTube platform, or it's coming through the network on Facebook or LinkedIn, for example. And then your live content. This is where most people make the biggest mistake when it comes to live. They think that they can only do live and grow a larger audience. The reason that it does work, but in order for that strategy to work alone, if you only want to do live, you're going to have to do a lot of live. You're going to have to be live a lot, and you're going to have to grow only with the intention of people who want that long interactive content at the time that you are live. And that's a limited number of people. Let's just look, when we look at ratios, it is a lower number of people. And so when you think about live in your content strategy for 26, I want you to be putting out that organic short form and long form content. And then your live content is built to really connect deeper with the people who are coming into you through the short and long form content. Are we on the same page? Can I get the same page? Give me the same page in the comments. And Marco, I see that you said blue is your favorite color. I'm going to remember that. Okay. So when it comes to live strategy, what I do really want to kind of make sure that you're doing this year is thinking about live. How do we take the people who are finding us through the other organic content and deepen the relationship with them? So you're going to have, a regular schedule, which I'll give you a caveat here in a second, but you're going to have a regular schedule for your live stream, and you're going to invite people to really have more of a conversation with you. Yeah. And then, the caveat here is like, I'm about to tell you, I'm actually testing a few different times and days. So stay on my email list or pay attention to me on social, because for the month of February, I'm playing with schedule because there are a bunch of different things happening on my end. And I want to learn what works for you guys the best. So pay close attention to me through the month of February, because it won't be the same day and time. And also, and you guys should be doing this as well, if you go to livestreamingpros.com/live, livestreamingpros.com/live, I have a calendar there. You can add that our calendar to your calendar and always know when the next live stream is, so you don't double book yourself, so that you do show up live and that you come hang out, learn, and deepen your knowledge of your content strategy and how you create high converting videos in 26. All right, so there are two very important things about live that you can consider in your strategy, which is live. Like if you hate editing a long format content, like a YouTube video, for instance, if you hate editing, if you're not good at it, you can look at a live stream as a way to create, or you could just not even go live, but act as if, where you're literally just doing live to drive, what we call live to drive, meaning you are hitting go, you're talking, you end, and that's now your video. You don't have to edit. It's just go. Like, you know what you're going to be talking about. Boom, 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 right? I have bullets for today, but I didn't really plan it out. I just wanted to talk. And so that would be considered live to drive. That's an easy way to get content out the door, whether you're doing it live or you're just recording and acting as if you're live. Also, horizontal and vertical at the same time. Now that we're opening up our possibilities, especially with this beta coming from Ecamm that is out now, this is going to be an amazing way for you to get more reach with less effort, or with the same amount of effort as one stream. And so when I talked about short form content, being able to put your content out there in 2 different formats at the same time, brilliant, awesome, love it. And I do have some content around the various ways that you can use this concept of vertical and horizontal at the same time strategically. So look for that coming up over the next month or so, where I'm going to help you really understand how to use this, software to be able to do that. All right. And then let's talk about private Zoom calls. For instance, are you, somebody said earlier that you're only really doing kind of like Zoom calls when it comes to live stream formats. And I think that's wonderful. I think that you should definitely be adding the organic stuff that we already talked about. And if you're only doing organic, you need to add the private, right? So the private streams, Zoom, whether we're like, let's talk about the different kinds that you can do when it comes to private. I would like to see you invite your email list to a private live stream Zoom two-way conversation. You could also invite your organic social reach as well. But what you're looking to do is really create emotional buy-in, connection, conversation in a more private environment. And when it's two-way, oh, that's the good stuff. That's like, I love seeing y'all chat, and I love live on YouTube, and I love the two-way conversation even more. And so if you're not using that, now is the time. This year is the year for that. Now, what are the things that you could do? Of course, you could do things like webinars and masterclasses and boot camps and the kind of traditional things that people do inside of Zoom. And I'm looking at that a little differently this year as well. What can you do in a private Zoom link that you share with people who already follow you or who've gotten onto your email list but don't really know you well yet? You could invite them to a call where you're just learning about them. That sounds like a non-scalable waste of time to a lot of people. And when I hear that, I'm like, but what's the best way to learn what products and services our audience needs is to literally talk to them, right? And so there's the like if you've been around the kind of the course world for a while, you've heard the term validation. Part of the ways that you actually get your course idea validated or a product idea validated is to learn what people actually are thinking, saying, needing, feeling. And so you can invite people on, let's say, a quarterly basis, and put that in your schedule. 1 to 2 hour Zoom call with your email list to really understand them better, to learn from them, to hear from them, where it's not you teaching, you're listening. That is, if you're not doing that on a fairly regular basis, you don't need to do it all the time because then it would lose its effectiveness. But if you're not doing that on a fairly regular basis, I'm telling you, you're missing out on not only connection, but also the emotional buy-in that happens when you do something like that. But you could take that idea of a regular-ish connection Zoom call and run with that in a variety of different ways. I would love to hear some of your ideas when it comes to that private concept of, hey, let's actually have just a conversation. Let's get to know each other a little bit more. And if you're watching this and you're to the point that you literally could not handle, you have so many viewers that you cannot handle that type of thing, and you're way past the scalability process or the scaling process, then I think you could make some adjustments to that to hold space for the same result in a slightly different way. But the majority of everybody watching is probably in the space that is worth spending a little bit of extra time with your audience so that you are crafting that trust and creating that connection. All right, I have talked a lot. This is a passionate topic for me. And I would invite you to see what I'm doing if you're really not getting results from video that you were hoping to, and you want high converting videos, but you don't want to spend a whole lot of time on the tech. You want your content strategy to really be strategic and not just like throw spaghetti on the wall. And you want to learn how to put yourself out there in a way that feels like you, that feels true to who you are in real life, and put that out on camera. That's what the Video Starter series is all about. 30 minutes, you take action as I tell you to take action on small micro things, and then you have a video ready to rock and roll. So that is free. You can grab that if you have not already. And if you've already taken it, I would love, love, love your feedback on it as well. And people are really loving it who are going through it. Okay, so thank you so much for this. I'm going to stay on for Q&A. And is my audio peaking? Wow. I just noticed that. I hope it wasn't peaking this whole time. All right, so I see a bunch of questions. I'm going to go through your questions. Michael Short, will YouTube and other platforms change mode based on device? Great question. Yes. So if you are not using the eCam, so if I remember correctly, because eCam's functionality is performing different than if you were to use the YouTube native dual stream. They don't call it dual stream. But if you're using YouTube's native platform, like Live Control Room, it's going to function differently than if you're actually using eCams. And there are some pros and cons to each of those, which I went over in a previous live stream, but essentially it's that it's going to be a single URL if you're using YouTube's native platform, but you've got two URLs going on eCam's platform. I think that that's cool because the vertical stream that I'm sending out can wind up in the shorts feed, whereas if you were to use YouTube's native, it's not going to. So I think that's pretty cool. So I like that. I love this. Luria is absolutely correct. Well, thank you. Wait, why did it change positions? What's happening? Okay. If you're an expert at something, you may be surprised by who needs that consultation. I went in thinking to teach trade workers. I consult more engineers and architects. Interesting. I love that. It is interesting. Like the more you learn, right? Hello, Sammy. It's good to see you. First time in 2 years. Well, I wasn't that late or long from missing mine. But it's been a while since I really kind of did a lot of live. I know I was very not live a lot last year, but there were a lot of reasons for that. This year, I had promised you during the holidays, like New Year's Eve, I was like, I'm going to be live a lot. This year has not been fun, exactly. I don't know about you, but I was like sick and re-sick and then like food poisoning and sick again. And then, I can go back to Abby. And then Abby went to the ER and it's been a month. And I got a flat tire on my birthday. So that was fun. Not that I celebrate my birthday anyway, but still, come on. All right, Matt, Generator Podcast said, currently doing 2 long-form live shows per week on YouTube. Whoa. Should I leave the lives on YouTube as is or remove them and re-upload a more polished version? Will that make the algorithms gods mad? No. So what I like to talk about when it comes to this particular question, Matt, is what is the purpose of this content? You should be asking this yourself of every single piece of content that you put out there. What is the purpose of this piece of content? Like, we have an overarching purpose, an overarching reason for creating content, the reason that we are here to help people. But each piece of content needs to have a purpose as well. And so that may be, if the purpose is, I want to get somebody on my email list. Okay, we're driving to that lead magnet. If the purpose is connection and community, then that probably is going to feel a lot less like teaching, educational, and more totally laid back, getting interrupted by the chat room, having conversations, going off and chasing squirrels, right? If your whole purpose of that piece of content is just community, then that's going to look very, very different in a format than it does in if you're trying to create an educational piece of content that drives clients, for instance. So you need to be really clear on that. And for instance, you saw me kind of go through this piece of content. I opened it up with total conversation, and then I kind of got into the thick of it. You'll notice I went to my non-Abby scenes so that I could repurpose that content and it not look weird. But now that I'm done with the core content, I'm back to like, let's just have a conversation. Let's answer some questions. Let's put Abby back up on the screen. And Abby doesn't move a lot. So when she does, it's a really exciting thing for the community. She's moving. Stop everything. Pay attention. And so that is you're really the answer to your question. Do you want to repurpose this? And in this particular video, in this particular live stream, I wanted to be able to repurpose some of the content that I was talking about. I interacted with the audience a little bit more, put comments up on screen a little bit more than I typically do, because I did also want that kind of conversational feel. But you've got to just identify the end result. What is the end result? Then we're working backwards from there. Okay. You are very welcome. And so what is, Matt, I've seen a little bit of your content, but like, what is the purpose of those 2 live streams? Fill me in, and maybe we can talk a little bit more as well. Eric says, that's my goal, 26, more live streaming, building better community. Fantastic. Okay, next question. I feel like I'm missing some questions. Hold on. Let me scroll back up here. I know that I saw a question from, no, well, not from a phone. Like, you're not going to do all of the things that you see here from a phone. You can use a phone as a camera inside of Ecamm, but you need to be on a Mac to use the software. I get 50 people at least every single day sending me private message on Facebook. I love them all, but I would be doing nothing but answering all day long. Yeah. See, that's when you know, okay, like, I need to put some kind of, in this case, yes, like 50 people a day, messages every single day. That's quite a lot, right? And so we need to think about your overarching time. But let's put maybe some mini chat automation in there to gather some information early. And then you could have a system that identifies your most right fit client, for instance, based on some answers that they might, give to MiniChat. And then that flags you a personal alert where you are giving personal attention to people who you think, oh my gosh, I would love to work with them. I would love to take this next step with them, right? So if you kind of think about it as you do scale, you can use some strategy like that is still human. It's still beautiful, and it gives you the space to be able to run your business, create your content, and also connect with people too. All right. Carter had asked, how nervous do you find yourself about divisive politics entering into community space? That is a total personal decision, right? So, how nervous do you find yourself about division? So this is a great question, Carter, because here's my thought on that. This community, this space, my YouTube channel, this is my home, right? It's like, I want you to think about everything you do online as if it were in person. I craft intentionally. My moderators know my values. My moderators know what we're okay with, what we're not okay with when it comes to comments and interactions. So we craft the community that we want. We don't allow the things that we don't want. We encourage the things that we do want. And so when you take full ownership of your community, whether we're talking about YouTube comments or, I've got to fix this. I increased this has been bothering me this whole time. I increased my hairline because it wasn't, but I need to change the position of it, but I need a different mount. Anyway, that's driving me insane. When I had longer hair, it was covering up that glare. See, it doesn't happen as much. Anyway, I'll fix that later. But so when you take full ownership of the community that you are building, you get to make the rules. And so, you know, if you have comments coming in live that you're not okay with, you know, you can shut it down just by hiding them, blocking it, moderating it out. You can choose to speak up about it as well. Like, it's totally up to you and the environment that you want to create. I focus heavily on safe spaces. So whether you're in my coaching program or you're just watching me on YouTube live, this is a safe environment to be fully yourself, to feel safe with the conversations that are happening as well. And so I make intentional decisions through that lens, if you will. So you get to choose, which is the cool thing, right? Some people love to invite it. Some people don't. So, all right, next question. Oh, you're a trainer in live streaming. You're not a political commentator. Well, and that's, again, your choice, Sandy, right? But if that's what you're saying that you tell your audience, it depends on your content. It depends on your end result. It depends on your philosophy. Okay, Matt says, show 1, interviews with pro creators, in-depth human connection. Love that. Audio gets posted to podcast platforms. The second show is solo audience building with informal conversation. I create shorts, reels from both. Nice. So Matt, one of the things I'm doing with the Ecamm beta is I have it set up on this other set that anyway, I've been doing so many like changes to my setup that anyway, I have to finish that up before I can use it. But this other set that I have that's just physically like on the other side of here, that one has a front camera and it has a side angle. And I think you could use if you're not already doing this, to create the shorts and reels from it, you could actually use that side angle, Matt, a little bit to kind of add a different view for some of those short form content pieces. Okay. Alrighty. I thought another question, but maybe I got them all. Let's see. Yeah. So, Bama, what did you say? YouTube is fixed on the person. Where's the link? If I find the stream from desktop, it needs to offer me the horizontal stream. So here's the deal. So if I were to use YouTube's native streaming platform and go both horizontal and vertical, what's the term that they're using? I'm blanking on that at the moment. But if you're doing their native stuff, it's going to present only one link. And then, like, let's say you were to turn your phone as a viewer, it's going to go vertical or horizontal based on how you're holding your phone. So that's the good news about that. I'm using Ecamm's software. And because currently, Ecamm, YouTube doesn't work with third-party. It doesn't have the integration with third-party software. They are working through that, but right now the third-party software functions differently. So meaning I'm getting 2 streams, a vertical and a landscape or horizontal one. Will Ecamm have a direct link to go live on Substack like they do with Facebook? You know what? I haven't looked at Substack's live kind of process, but if it's like Instagram or TikTok, or sorry, not Instagram at this point. If it's like TikTok where you have to like kind of use their platform, then probably not. One of the things the twins, Ken and Glenn, mentioned regarding TikTok is throwing like I think they were recommending putting throwing like the virtual output to TikTok's platform and then streaming from there. So Maybe that's an option with Substack as well. Again, I haven't actually looked at how they are looking at it. All right. Dual mode, horizontal, vertical, big and tall, big and tall. I like the big and tall. Hello, Lisa. How are you? Good to see you here. All right, you guys. Any other questions around your strategy for live streaming in 26? If you are not being super intentional, that doesn't mean a lot of effort. That doesn't mean a lot of time. It just means intention. It just means being thoughtful about how you're putting your content out. I want you to include live in both organic and private environments, and you will see a difference this year when it comes to the results that you're looking to grow your business. Because now we're really connected with our audience. Now we're really understanding who they are, what they need, and really leaning into human connection. It was so interesting because during the pandemic, of course, live took off. My business grew crazy. And I did not experience the pandemic like most people because I was so freaking busy during the pandemic because live took off again. It does this. Like over the 20 years that I've been doing it, there are points where it takes off and everybody's paying attention, and then everybody is like, whatever. And then it takes off again. So this is just the normal occurrence. It kind of died out after everybody went back to work after the pandemic. And now we're seeing a resurgence because it is so important to create trust. And it's the literally best way that you can create trust, because AI can't do what you do live. It just can't. It's not going to. Great question, Sammy. How do I bring back live streaming into my life and content? So, Sammy, did you stop because you went to college, because your college life took over? Which is totally understandable. Is that what happened, or was there a reason that you kind of dropped it off? Have you been putting out any content, I guess is the question, in my head. If you've been kind of putting some content out, but live streaming has kind of taken a back seat, that's okay. What I would do, regardless, let's just kind of go, I have less than a year now to figure out what actually to do to bring live streaming back into my schedule. You don't need a year. You don't need a year to bring it back. Here's what I would do. I would decide, how often do you want to stream? Do you want to go back to weekly, or probably not daily at this point, right? You have other things that need focus at this stage. But I would decide, what's your cadence that I'm comfortable with? We can always add more later, but taking away is a little bit more difficult. So start with what feels doable in your life and your schedule. And maybe that's once a month. That's okay too, right? Even if it's once a month, then that's doable. And then you can add more later as you kind of get your routine back. And then what I would do, Sammy, is go ahead and schedule a stream, and we're going to treat it like an event. We're going to treat it like a party. We're going to treat it like a big deal, and we're going to get excited about it, and we're going to invite people to it, and we are going to promote it on the email list, on social. We're going to talk about it. We're going to just hey, this thing is happening on XYZ date in a week or two, and everybody come party with me, right? And then you kind of use that stream that everybody gets kind of emotionally excited about, and then you kind of announce your schedule and what your plans are going forward. Here's what I think a lot of people do wrong when it comes to content is announce their plans. So I would rather you hey, we're going to be live more often. Here's how you stay aware of the thing that are my streams. And let's not worry about the bell notification. Let's not worry about, like, most people are either, I don't know about most, but like there's so many people who have notifications on, who get so many notifications that they don't pay attention to it. And then there are people who just turn notifications off entirely. And so even if I've hit, I don't get YouTube notifications because I'm subscribed to too many different people. And the okay. And so I find them too overwhelming. So I turn notifications off. If I've subscribed and turned on bell notifications for your channel, because I've turned off notifications entirely, like in email and the app, I'm still not going to see it. So I would have to go into the little bell icon on my dashboard and then like scroll through all of the notifications in order to see anything. So this is why I don't really even care about asking for the bell notifications. What you can do is what I was talking about earlier. Go to livestreamingpros.com/live, add the calendar to your calendar so that you always show up live and don't overbook yourself, right? Like getting them into the habit of how to access you is most important. That was a rant about the whole bell notifications. The water. That's probably a good notification to have. I love that. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Appreciate you, of course. I was shocked that I still had 10, 15 people pop on when you went live. Nice. I like that. So yeah, I think, yeah, where have I been? Streams sometimes bring curiosity for sure. What I kind of like went off tangent here, but yeah, exactly. When you announce your plans, you likely don't follow through to the extent that you announced it, and then you let viewers down, then you lose trust, which is the exact opposite, right? So I would, you're almost done with college. Congratulations. That's amazing. I can't believe it went by so fast. So I would say less, but also encourage them that you will be live more often and to subscribe to your calendar or some version of connection to get that notification. Okay. So I was saying this earlier, you might have joined after. I'm actually using February to experiment with some times around my schedule and what seems to work for you guys. I actually asked my email list about time frames, and I was like, wow, this is all over the place. There was no clear answer as to what worked for the community as a whole. And so I'm going to just be playing with stream times. So go to livestreamingpros.com/live and add the calendar so that you will, and I will update that every week based on the schedule that I choose that week. And then I'm going to choose a time starting in March and be weekly and same day, same time. Sound good? Added my pool pump too. Yes. These are good things to have notifications about. Okay. Sounds great. Fantastic. I know. So I kind of want to go back to Fridays, but I also, I said this last year, and the reason we took off Friday, we removed Fridays, is because like, I like to go camping like in the summer and things like that. Not that I did much of that last year again, but I like the option to be able to have a little bit of flexibility in my schedule. I work a lot, and I also would like some of that time off to be able to, like a long weekend or something like that. Not every week, but sometimes. And so I didn't want to rope myself into that schedule where it was like Fridays or Mondays where I couldn't have a long weekend if I wanted it. Anyway, super stickers are supposed to show in the comments now. Oh, okay, let's do it again. You're right, I forgot about that. That did not look right. Okay, hold on. Is it because... Oh, wait, on the vertical it does. Wait, hold on. Okay, I'm wondering if it's the... So vertical comment, here, let me just go into demo mode real quick. So the vertical comment is set to shrink. This one is set to truncate. So if I were to change this to shrink, then it's showing right. What do you prefer, Paul? We want to keep it shrink? Let me know. All right. There we go. A little live demo there. Oh, I would never use truncate. Ooh. I just got told by the magical Mr. Paul Dixon. I did say earlier, I don't think you were here, but I did say this was not an approved layout from Paul, because I texted you earlier, Paul, and I was like, what happened? You gave me a new one, but I can't find it. Anyway, so I got to connect with you and get the right layout in. So I was using very minimal scenes today and designed it myself, as you can probably tell. I mean, I used your original one, but you know what I mean. Oh, the Artist Haven, planning on candy making streams every Monday. I'm just trying to figure out the time. Should I work with what works with my production schedule or be more mindful to viewers' time frame? Yeah. First and foremost, your schedule matters most. It just does, because if it doesn't work for you, it's not going to just work at all, right? Like, so I had Thursdays at 10 on the calendar for a long time, and it's still kind of the default. It just hasn't worked for me for one reason or another. Like, it just, Thursdays at 10 just kept failing for me. Something would come up or whatever. Like, it was just like for months on end, it was just like hitting my head up against the wall to go live at 10 on a Thursday. And so that's why I'm kind of playing with schedules. But if you're tired, like Callie wanted me to go, I'm throwing Callie under the bus. Callie wanted me to go live in the afternoon so that, you know, we could kind of connect with people who maybe were staying focused on their business stuff in the day, and had a little bit more space in the evening. And if it goes past, like, once I'm past 2 p.m., I wake up at 4 to 5, like on my good days, like I'm awake early, and I go to bed at like 9. So that's my schedule. If once I'm past 2, my brain just goes to mush. Like, I could do 2 probably, but I couldn't do 3. And then, like, we lose the UK viewers in that late kind of time frame as well. So if I'm mush, if my brain can't function or process well live, it's gonna be a crap show, right? So you didn't know me. Come on, you had to have known this about me. Of course I'm a morning person. I've always been a morning person. I love my mornings. I love my sunrises. I also love my sunsets, but I love my sunrises. I love the feeling of like, this is a fresh day. There's 0 people at 5 a.m. asking for things from me, except for my team, who are all in later time zones. No, I'm just joking. But like, there's 0 expectation like so early in the morning, and it's a beautiful fresh start to the day, and it just brings a lot of hope and potential to my brain. So morning person by necessity is different from morning person by choice. Fair. Yeah, it really is. Well, hello, Tools. Good to see you. And now that Tools is here, we're out of here. No, I'm just joking. I was about to wrap up, but I just want to finish this Artist Haven. We do want to make sure it works for you first and foremost. And then if there are like 2 or 3 times that could work for you, then transfer that decision to what works best for your audience. So I'm not a waking up person. Wait, what? But I can get up at 4 a.m. or 10 a.m. and figure out that I'm not a waking up person. That's funny. That's well said. I love that. All right, you guys, we're going to throw the credits, and hopefully they work on this dual mode beta. I did test them. They should be working. Put those dancing shoes on. We're going to dance this baby out. Thank you so much for joining me live. I hope that this has been helpful. If you have questions about anything we talked about today, email me, DM me on Instagram. I love a good voice message on Instagram. I don't know why. I just love it because it's high touch, because it's personal, because it's connection. And I love to connect with you. So DM me on Instagram if you have any questions about all this stuff that we talked about. And I will see you next week. Also, before you go, Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific, I believe, 10, 11, 12. 12 p.m. Eastern, we have a new YouTube video coming out. It is about backgrounds like these, your video background. And so you will definitely want to watch that. So put that on your schedule as well. And watch early. Be one of the first. Type first in the comments if you must. I don't care. But just watch it because it'll help you create your background if you're struggling. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thanks for joining me live. Love you.
Every change has a reason.